Think the people who decide the Hugo, the Nebula, the Locus Awards got the 1990s right? Well, buckle up, because I've dug deep and uncovered some incredible gems of science fiction from that decade. Bizarre, brilliant, unforgettable novels that somehow completely slipped past the awards radar. How many of these overlooked masterpieces have you read? Hi, everyone. I'm Jim, and this is Fantasy for the Ages, the show where a father and son talk about fantasy, science fiction, horror, and other nerdy things that we enjoy. My son Zach is with me for some of these episodes, but these days a lot of them are just me, and this is another solo episode as I'm working through this series on amazing science fiction books from each year, working through the decades that somehow didn't even get a nomination for the best books of the year in the various awards. Again, Hugo's, Nebula, Locus, Philip K. Dick Award, Arthur C. Clarke Award. Things that really tried to nail down the best of science fiction. And nothing for these. If this is your first time with us here, we sure hope that you'll like the episode, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you'll see when we have more content coming out. We have things coming out most days of some sort. Sometimes it takes me a couple days to get a new one out, but we keep the content coming. And we partly do that because of the support of our Patreon people. Thank you to our Patreon community. Your faithful support is so appreciated. If you'd like to learn more about Patreon, look for the link down in our show notes. So these books I'm going to talk about today, they are the result of research. I've dug into the data of the best-selling books in science fiction throughout the 1990s, looked at the ratings that they got on Goodreads, Storygraph, and Amazon, kind of getting a aggregate score, and looked at the reviews, both from fans and from the critics, and tried to discern what were the two best books of science fiction to not even get a single award nomination from any of the biggest awards that consider science fiction books. And I've got some good ones for you here. These are all delightful reads. Tons of people enjoyed them. You can look them up on any of the regular places and see for yourself. And if you haven't read them, perhaps they should go on your TBR. We're going to go right through all of these 20 books for you. A wonderful decade, the 1990s. Let's see how many you're familiar with already. We start the decade with a bang. 1990s runner-up is A World of Difference by Harry Turtledove. Cold War drama meets First Contact. Because clearly, when you meet aliens, the first thing you should do is bring along your ideological baggage. But the best of 1990? The World Next Door by Brad Ferguson. Nuclear disaster in one timeline, survival in another, and people crossing between them. It's sliding doors, but with mushroom clouds. And as the Cold War fizzles out in real life, science fiction keeps heating up. 1991's runner-up is Forbidden Knowledge by Stephen R. Donaldson. Now, this is the second book in the Gap cycle. Virtual reality, alien threats, and corporate nastiness. Basically, the worst parts of cyberpunk dialed to 11. Fun? Maybe not. Compelling? Absolutely. The best of 1991, though, goes to The Face of the Waters by Robert Silverberg. Floating raft cities, alien overlords, and survival at sea. This is Waterworld, but good. Silverberg knew how to make you seasick with suspense. From oceans to outer space, let's see what 1992 had to offer. Runner-up of the year is Brother to Dragons by Charles Sheffield. Alien artifacts, human rivalries, and that classic, let's poke at technology we don't understand vibe. Spoiler, it never ends well. Best of 1992 without any nominations goes to The Broken God by David Zindel. Space opera meets philosophy lecture. Except this lecture involves destiny, religion, and knives. Lyrical, heady, and bold enough to leave you reeling. If 1992 was heady, 1993 said, let's get gritty. The runner up for this year is Mindstar Rising by Peter F. Hamilton. Glenn, I know you're going to like that. A psychic detective in post collapse Britain hired to sniff out corporate sabotage. It's Sherlock Holmes with a biotech upgrade. Best of 1993, very different sort of novel, California by Mark Laidlaw. Road trips, serial killers, and speculative edges. It's like Tarantino took a wrong turn onto the sci-fi shelf. Disturbing? Yep. Impossible to look away? Double yep. But don't worry. The mid-90s lightened the mood. Sort of. For 1994, the runner-up with no nominations or awards is Lovelock by Orson Scott Card and Catherine H. Kidd. Ever wanted to read the secret diary of an uplifted monkey? You do now. This little guy sees more than his human overlords ever imagined. And the best book of the year in science fiction with no nominations is The Hacker and the Ants by Rudy Rucker. Programmers, bugs, and ants. Digital ants swarming the internet. It's like if Silicon Valley comedy crashed headfirst into a cyberpunk plague. From ants in the 90s, we go to horses in 95. Telepathic ones at that. 1995's runner-up is Strange Attractors by Jeffrey A. Carver. Cosmic crises, quantum mysteries, and a sentient hazard literally named the Boojum. Yeah, Boojum. Who says hard sci-fi can't have a sense of humor? Boojum. But the best book of 1995 goes to Rider at the Gate by C.J. Cherry. Night horses are telepathic, predatory, and a little too chatty. If you've ever wanted your Uber driver to read your thoughts, this book will cure you of that. And if 1995 gave us psychic horses, 1996 gave us Aristotelian physics. Strap in. 1996 runner-up is The Fortunate Fall by Raphael Carter. Journalism as live sensory streaming. Because what could go wrong if your news anchor can literally feel everything for you? Answer: everything. Everything can go wrong. Best book in science fiction for 1996 with no nominations or awards, though, is Celestial Matters by Richard Garfinkel. Ancient Greek cosmology is real, and space travel means pushing through crystalline spheres. It's delightfully nerdy, like if Aristotle had designed Star Trek. 1997, though, it got cheeky with its heroes, and its time travelers. The runner-up for 1997 goes to Time on My Hands by Peter Delacourt. Forget killing Hitler. This time traveler's job is to stop Ronald Reagan. Along the way, he gets Depression-era Hollywood, romance, and some awkward ethical dilemmas. But the best from this year is Expendable by James Allen Gardner. Society's imperfect explorers get sent on suicide missions, except Festina Ramos proves she's nobody's disposable. Satire, sass, and a smart heroine who rewrites the rulebook. 1998 said, let's go quantum, or maybe just kill someone in cyberspace. For the runner-up of the year, we get Standing Wave by Howard V. Hendricks. A mountain falls from space, a cyberspace murder mystery unravels, and physics starts throwing curveballs. It's as wild as it sounds. The best book of this year is Signal to Noise by Eric S. Nyland. Parallel timelines bleeding together, corporations meddling in reality itself, and one poor scientist trying to hold the multiverse together with duct tape. By 1999, Sci-Fi had gone full biotech thriller, and James Allen Gardner wasn't done yet. The runner up for the year is Vigilant by James Allen Gardner. Murderous androids, political corruption, and one determined ombudsman trying to hold society together with pure grit. Gardner proves lightning can strike twice in the same decade. But the best for this year goes to Code of Conduct by Christine Smith. Alien modified humans, political conspiracies, and a protagonist caught between two species' futures. It's biotech noir at its finest, and still criminally underrated. And there you have it. Fast and Furious, I gave you the best science fiction novels of the 1990s that never got the deserved recognition from the big awards. Which ones have you read? Which ones surprised you? And which ones do you think I might have missed? Drop your thoughts in the comments. You know I love seeing what you guys have to say. Once again, thank you to our Patreon supporters for keeping the lights on here at Fantasy for the Ages. If you'd like to join them, check out the link in the show notes. And while there, look at all the other ways you can interact with my son, Zach, and I, including joining us on our Discord server, where we talk about books all the time. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.